Yo, what's up YouTube? This is Tap. This is my new channel. Had a couple videos, they sucked, took them down, and I've tried to do this video a few times without a script, and I kind of got off topic. I think I made it a little confusing or something. So I got some notes. I just looked over them, and hopefully this will turn out a little better. Basically, there's a lot of turmoil in our society, not just America. I think it's pretty much all over. Wherever it can pop up, it tends to, it seems like anything there is for people to fight over, they're going to, because people have their motives, and they're gonna side with the group if there is a group already that benefits their own motives. And if I don't think it's like a loyal allegiance or anything between a lot of these people on various issues on various sides. I think it's just that people have gotten so selfish and high on their own the way they are. They think they're just the best thing, and maybe it's natural, maybe it's not, but I don't know, man. I just wanted to throw something out there. Maybe somebody will see it and care or spread it around. Maybe it makes sense to you, maybe not. It's kind of about ethics, and I know that's not really a cool topic. That's kind of a boring issue to a lot of people, but hear me out. It seems like people have cast off the traditional ways of looking at morality just because it's traditional. And I think it comes from them not having much of a basis for it, a rational basis for these morals or whatever, these values, that since they don't have the basis for it, it amounts to a baseless assertion. And I just wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit on kind of the root of ethics. I've read a few books. I'm not an expert on this. I've read a few books about, how human societies evolved this notion of good and evil, and it's nothing mystical. It's not some superstitious bullshit. It's real stuff. To put it simply, just to keep it at its rawest example, right? If you're alone in the wild some thousands of years ago, and you gotta survive. You do pretty much whatever it takes to get by. You'll lie, you'll steal, you'll kill. You're a vicious animal. That's what you gotta do. And if you don't, then something will, and they'll take advantage of you, and you lose. But then you bring other people into the equation. Your tribe, your family, your unit, or as time goes on, you get a village, and then a city, and then a whole kingdom or whatever. And there are standards that have to be upheld. You can't have this mass of people trying to work as kind of a cohesive system, a machine or whatever, and then everybody's just robbing each other and talking shit, lying to each other, killing each other, fighting between themselves, because it's just going to fall apart. And I think that's kind of where the whole idea of morality comes to mind, or came to mind a while back, and then we just kind of passed it on for however many generations until we're here, and people are like, nah, man, that's old shit. But no, I mean, people have reverted back to this, and not everybody. I'm not making too broad of a generalization. It's a lot of people. It's not everybody. They're more in for what they can get out of it for themselves, life in general. I mean, that's just the way they do. They'll side with whoever sides with them, or whoever can get them something they want. They'll do whatever it takes to get ahead, a little money, some sex, some kind of satisfaction, like, I don't know, drugs or a new thing or something. We've become, in general, we've slid back from, I think, where we were maybe some odd decades ago. I think for a little while it was decent. Like we were making good progress. We were really hitting home, with the whole civilization thing for a while, and now we're dropping the ball because we're born into it. We're raised on getting what we want, at least in some places, and then we're taught these kind of I don't know if subjective is the word, but we're taught these biased ways of looking at things, and ways of identifying people. Like, you get people that fall into this category that I don't like, or this that I do like, and everything's kind of labeled when you don't really think about it, because you don't think about it. There's no real basis for it. There's no elaboration. It's just like a color coding system, and it's really a problem. And hold on. When you see all these people on any side of any big issue that people can stand to fight over, and then they do, there's not always a lot of discussion and people trying to figure it out and come to a logical conclusion or solution to whatever problem there is. It's kind of people saying, in large part, just what they want, and then that's it. That's it. This is what I want. This is how it should be, because that's what I think, and then they won't, actually back it up. And I wanted to I kind of wanted to give you a few examples on, how that, I guess for just to keep it simple, we'll just call it the good people and bad people. A couple of examples to give some contrast to the situation. I don't think it's necessary, really. Basically, when you get somebody that is only in it for themselves, and they'll live and benefit at everybody else's expense, and they don't care, and they'll keep doing it, that's an evil person, right? And then the one that gives back or does more for society, they're the good person. And it's a big deal that people kind of look at themselves and take responsibility for their own faults, their own problems. Think about, what they're doing, what they're saying, instead of pointing the finger at everybody else. And, I used to be the same way. I used to, look at people like, oh, they're just, there's some people are just that way, and who knows why. But this fighting is not going to stop. It's going to tear us apart if people don't actually come to some kind of compromise. And not even necessarily a compromise. It can just be a better solution than anybody thought of before. Just from sitting down and settling it in detail, talking about it, and stop getting petty with every little difference they have with people. Actually, you be a better person, and I'll be a better person on my end, and everybody else just handle their own shit, instead of trying to force feed everybody what you think. And it's not like it's one person against one person. It's literally millions and millions of people against millions of people, and probably almost just as many sides that you can take. And or maybe that's not quite true. It's not all cut and dry, like, I'm right, you're wrong. I think everybody is right on a few things and wrong on probably a lot of things. I've noticed I've been wrong plenty of times, and I think everybody has. And to think that you're just right without even a second guess, even a maybe, that you're wrong, it's pretty arrogant. But I mean, I wanted to say also that this controversy, the fact that not everybody does agree, and there are so many sides that you can take on every little thing. Um, it it kind of comes down to the fact that not everybody, like I said, not everybody understands everything about everything. So I might have a few details that lead me to believe this, and you might have a few details that lead you to believe something like it. But then the next thing we talk about, we're just totally on different sides, and it goes on. It's been going on like this for really as long, probably just as long as we've been around. And we're not perfect animals. We're probably, in the grand scheme of things, pretty fucking stupid. Uh, just walked out the woods, so to speak. And I mean, we gotta. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm going in circles, but just everybody, just shut up and figure it out, like gentlemen. I don't know, man. I don't even know how to say it. Stop being stupid on purpose. Stop being assholes to each other. Settle it and come to a logical conclusion through some kind of logical analysis. And maybe all this crap between every warring faction in our society, maybe it'll get better. And I honestly do not think it will get better if we don't. And because if it's not what we're talking about today, if it's not what we're fighting over today, it'll be something that we're fighting over tomorrow. And if we got these same problems, it's just going to be a whole different can of worms. Different, same song, different lyrics. But anyway, I guess that's it, man.